Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the Scott Sports 101. I'm sorry I didn't get to do an early games pregame show, so we'll call it a early games recap show and a late games update show we will do. We're going to talk all about today's early games. We'll recap the Browns game from Thursday. We'll get to all that, but first, here is today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. What team was the NFC Eastern Division champion in 1985? I will have the answer later on the podcast. Well, it's week 2 of the NFL, and we've had a lot of high-scoring games this week, and the late games are fully underway, and we'll get to all of that. But first, let's go back to the game from Thursday night between the Browns and the Bengals. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go back to that game. We're going to recap that one for you right now. Well, the Browns get in the win column for the first time this season as they beat the Cincinnati Bengals 35-30 Thursday night at First Energy Stadium in the Battle of Ohio. They got a great performance from Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb in the running game. And we also saw a great performance by Odell Beckham Jr. Thursday night, better than his performance against Baltimore in Week 1 last Sunday, a week ago. This was the performance that head coach Kevin Stefanski was looking for from this Browns team. The Browns got the job done Thursday night, and here is how they got it done, and I'll let you know right now. The Bengals had the ball at their own 39. The Browns' Cody Parkey kicks it 64 yards from the Cleveland 35 and to the Cincinnati 39. And Brandon Wilson made that kick, got the ball. Joe Burrow threw 2 passes that fell incomplete and got sacked for 11 at the Browns' 9. The Bengals had to settle for a field goal. Randy Bullock's 38-yard field goal was good, and it was 3-0 Bengals early in the first quarter. The Browns scored their first touchdown of the game. It was 2nd and 4 at the Cincinnati 11. Nick Chubb ran the ball 11 yards for the score. Cody Parkey's extra point was good, and the Browns were up 7-3 at the end of the first quarter. The Browns scored their second touchdown of the game in the second quarter. It was 1st and 10 at the Cincinnati 43. Baker Mayfield's pass to deep left to Odell Beckham Jr. for the 43-yard touchdown. The replay officials reviewed the runner was not down by contact ruling, and the play was upheld, and the ruling on the field stand, as the referee said, the extra point was good, and it was 14-3 Browns. The Bengals scored their first touchdown of the game. Joe Burrow's pass deep left to C.J. Uzomah for the 23-yard touchdown. Randy Bullock's extra point was good, and it was 14-10 Browns. The Browns scored their third touchdown of the game at 3rd and goal at the Cincinnati 6. Baker Mayfield's pass short right to Kareem Hunt for the 6-yard score, and the extra point was good, and it was a 21-10 Browns lead. And then Joe Burrow threw 4 passes that were incomplete, and it was 3rd and 10 at the Cleveland 25, and the Bengals had to kick another field goal. Randy Bullock's 43-yard field goal was good, and it was 21-13 Browns at halftime. Third quarter, the Browns had a turnover on downs at the start of the third quarter. Nick Chubb to the Cincinnati 1 for a 1-yard gain, and then the Bengals fumbled the ball, and Joe Burrow sacked at the Cincinnati 4 for -8 yards. by Myles Garrett, and then Burrow fumbled it, and then Browns Joseph Jackson recovered the ball at the Cincinnati 1 for no gain. The Browns scored their 4th touchdown of the game. It was 2-goal at the Cincinnati 1. Nick Chubb ran the ball into the end zone for the 1-yard touchdown. The extra point there, that's right after, was good, and it was 28-13 Browns. Joe Burrow made several plays and threw three incomplete passes, and the Bengals had to settle for yet another field goal. Randy Bullock kicked a 27-yarder that was good, and it was 28-16. Browns lead by 12. The Browns had an interception at the end of the 3rd quarter. Baker Mayfield's pass deep middle intended for Harrison Bryant got intercepted by William Jackson III at the Cincinnati 2. And William Jackson III ran out of bounds at the Cincinnati 32 for 30 yards. And Kenzel Hodge, there was a penalty on Cincinnati by Kenneth Kareem, and it was unnecessary roughness of 15 yards and force at the Cincinnati 32. Then in the 4th quarter, the Bengals scored their 2nd touchdown of the game. It was 1st-and-goal at the Cleveland 4. Joe Burrow's passed short right to Mike Thomas, who ran the ball into the end zone for the 4-yard touchdown. And the extra point was good, and the Browns led by 5, 28-23. The Browns scored their 5th and final touchdown of the game. Kareem Hunt ran the ball in the end zone for the 1-yard TD. And the Browns had a 12-point lead again at 35-23. The Bengals scored their 3rd and final touchdown of the game. Joe Burrow's pass short middle to Tyler Boyd for the 9-yard touchdown. And the extra point was good, and it was back to a 5-point lead for the Browns at 35-30. The Bengals made one last play for no gain. Baker Mayfield kneels at the Cincinnati 48 for -2 yards. And that was it. The Browns win the season home opener, get their first win of the season, 35-30 over the Cincinnati Bengals. Browns go to 1-1, and the Bengals fall to 0-2. Much better performance, and it was the performance that head coach Kevin Stefanski was looking for from this Browns team. And I'll give out the game balls once again that I gave out Thursday night. Baker Mayfield, 16 of 23 carries, 219 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Nick Chubb, 22 carries, 124 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kareem Hunt, 10 receptions, 86 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 carries, and 15 yards. And Odell Beckham Jr., 4 receptions, 75 yards, and 1 touchdown. Now, the Browns have had a nice weekend, and they're going to have to practice big time because next Sunday, they've got the Washington football team coming in here, and that's going to be a big challenge. So that will be a big challenge, and they're going to want, and I want them to go to 2-1, and they're going to want to go to 2-1. So you better be, boys, you better be prepared for this game, and hopefully they will be. The Browns will be. Well, we'll get to all the other scores in just a sec, but right now it's time to reveal the answer to today's Scott Sports 101 NFL Football Sunday trivia question. What team was the NFC Division Champion in 1985? And if you said the Dallas Cowboys, and you are correct. Dallas did win the NFC Division Championship in 1985, but Dallas didn't win the division again until 1992. I'll have another trivia question on my next podcast, which will be on the Scott Sports 101 Monday Night Football pregame show tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. And we've had a lot of high-scoring games in this week 2 of the NFL, excuse me. The Minnesota Vikings go to 0-2 for the first time since 2015. And for the first time since 2015, as they lose to the Indianapolis Colts 28-11 at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana. The Colts just got on fire. They just had one heck of a game, and Minnesota did score one touchdown in the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, but it would not be enough as as Indianapolis, they go to 1-1. The Cowboys kicker, Greg Zuerlein, kicked a 46-yard game-winning field goal as the Cowboys beat the Atlanta Falcons by 1 in Big D at AT&T Stadium in Dallas, Texas, 40-39, and the Cowboys could not afford to go 0-2. And I have to give the game balls to Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, and Amari Cooper. And boy, all three of those guys deserve it. They had a big game today. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers got their first win of the season under new quarterback Tom Brady over the Carolina Panthers, 31-11 at Raymond James Town Stadium in Tampa. And I've got to give the game ball to Tom Brady, of course. I give it to Tom Brady. He gets the game ball. It was a much different performance by the Green Bay Packers as they get a big win over the Detroit Lions today at legendary Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin, 42-21. And I have to give the game balls to Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Jones. They get the game balls today. The Tennessee Titans win by a field goal over the Jacksonville Jaguars today, 33-30 at LP Field in Nashville, Tennessee. And I have to give him to game ball to Ryan Tannehill. I have to give it to him. And Gardner Minshew had a good game. They scored one more touchdown, but it would not be enough as she kicked a field goal to tie it at 30. And so they scored one touchdown to tie it at 30, and then it just would not be enough as the Titans get the win by 3. The Pittsburgh Steelers go to 2-0 with their win over the Denver Broncos at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, 26-21. And I got to give the game ball to Ben Roethlisberger and I think Dave Ward. I have to give it to him. The Buffalo Bills go to 2-0 with their win over the Miami Dolphins today at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, 31-28. And I have to give it to Bills quarterback Josh Allen and offensive tackle Stephon Diggs. I have to give it to them. They had a good game today. The Bears get the 49ers get an easy win over the New York Jets, 31-13 at MetLife Stadium in New York. But Jimmy Garoppolo suffered a knee injury, and he's going to be out for a while, and that's going to hurt the 49ers big time, and that is. The Rams get a big win over the Philadelphia Eagles at Lincoln Financial Field in Philly, 37-19. I got to give it to Jared Goff, the game ball. And the Chicago Bears get a 4-point win over the New York Giants at Soldier Field in Chicago, 17-13. And I give the game ball to Mitch Trubisky and David Montgomery. I give it to them. Right now, the Arizona Cardinals are whopping the Washington Cardinals football team 20-0 in the third quarter. The Ravens are up 23-10 in the third at NRG Stadium in Houston, and the Chiefs are up on the Cardinals 23-10 at SoFi Stadium in LA. And the Patriots and Seahawks will be playing this evening on Sunday Night Football, and tomorrow night the Saints and Raiders at Alliance Stadium on Monday Night Football. 3, 2, 1, I'm done.